Hello, this is a quick video overview of your first online discussion for this week. To find your online discussion, you may scroll down beneath week 1 and you'll find underneath module 7 a link to that assignment. Or at the very top of your page, you will find under your to-do list online discussion 1. So you can click this link, or here at beneath the module 7, you can click this assignment link as well. So I'm going to click on that particular link. Now we're going to talk about kind of tokens of formal online postings in just a while, but I first want you to understand kind of the concept of this particular online discussion. The good news is this is a little bit more informal in tone than the types of online discussions you'll probably be doing in our course later, and also for other classes as well. I am going to reference some handouts and things that you need to look over to be kind of aware of the significance of formality and just appropriateness in online discussions, but we'll get to that later. I first want to ensure that you understand kind of the purpose of this particular online discussion. It is definitely a get to know you scenario. The first thing that I want you to do is I want you to find a photograph that you feel best represents who you are as a person. It can be a photograph where you are in the actual photo if you're uncomfortable with having yourself in a photograph. Maybe it can be pictures of people who are important to you. I know many of you have children. You could have a photograph of your children or child. Maybe there's other people in your life that are important to you. Maybe your significant other, your spouse, a parent, and they could have a huge significance on your life, and that's kind of maybe even your purpose in some cases. Also, many of you have different hobbies and interests. I had someone one semester that had a photograph of body art. Now, it obviously needs to be in an appropriate part of the body. I don't want anything that would be R-rated, but if you have a particular tattoo that has some emotional kind of connection to you and a story behind it, and you feel that best represents you, go for it. Some of you may be really into particular athletics, like maybe you play tennis, so you're going to have a picture of a tennis racket and a ball. Maybe you love to cook, so you're going to have a photograph of maybe one of your favorite dishes. I just want you to have a photograph that you feel best represents who you are as a person. And then after you attach that photograph, I want you in 3 to 5 sentences, using grammatically correct language and no texting lingo, just describe yourself and give as much information as you're comfortable in giving. I mean, if you don't want to give your age, then don't give it. You may want to tell us your hometown, maybe just the region in which you were from if you don't want to give the specific hometown. You also could let us know about yourself. Maybe, do you work? Have you been out of school for a long time? What are you majoring in? If you're undecided, what are you considering? Once you finish your degree program, where would you like to see yourself in a few years as far as career-wise? What are other important aspects of your life? I've already mentioned hobbies. Maybe your religion is very important to you. Maybe you love a particular movie or television series or book series. Again, let us get to know you, and this is just kind of a chance to glimpse that. And also you can respond to each other if you have similar interests. I know we're an online class and sometimes that black mirror kind of feels like a wall between us, but this is a chance for you and your classmates to also respond to each other. You may have some commonality, whether in background or being parents or same degree programs and just hobbies, and this is kind of a chance for you to socialize as well. So feel free to respond to each other. Now, as far as actually posting this, you're first going to just scroll down and you click on the actual, you click on essentially the posting. So you're going to click reply. Okay. Now, as far as what you're going to do, the first thing that you're going to need to do is actually do the photo attachment. There's different ways you can do this. Okay. You can click here to attach and just click choose file. I'm going to go to my pictures. I'm just going to pick a photo of my kids. You find one where, okay, we'll pick this one. Okay, also there's another way that you can embed a photo. If you go right here to this little mountainous terrain icon, click embed image and click canvas. You can click my files and then upload, and then I'm going to just pick the same photo. Give me just a moment to find it again, and I can do open. Give it just a second, and after you select the photo, you do update. and give it just a moment. Now, if you want to resize your photo, just click on it, kind of similar to what you do with cropping and everything, and just resize it. I mean, you can put it in the middle, you can put it in the center, the right, the left. I mean, it's pretty much whatever you want to do. And you can enter down and then start your online posting. And keep in mind, again, this is a more informal in nature online posting. I still want you to be grammatically correct with your language and make sure you use correct, spelling, and also don't have wrong words. But it's only about, 3 to 5 sentences. And again, just give us what you feel you want us to know about yourself, and be as personable as you feel comfortable. Everything that I mentioned before as far as interests, hobbies, belief systems, careers, that's up to you. Now, whenever you finish typing, and again, you're going to notice you can bold things, underline, italics, you can resize the font and everything. You are going to post the reply. If you don't post the reply, it's not going to submit. Okay, so just ensure that you do that. And that is actually how you are going to submit the actual online discussion. But I do want to go back and I want to talk about online discussion posts in general. Now we're going to go to our modules page again, and notice we're back under that number 5 module underneath week 1 under Netiquette, and make sure that you either save or print out this Netiquette online discussion handout. Now these other resources, C, D, and E, these are just other resources you may want to look into to learn more about online discussion posts, because I know some of you are taking other classes and different instructors have different kind of characteristics and objectives that they want met for an online post, and these may help you do that. But let's go into the Netiquette online discussion handout. Now again, you're not probably going to be using as much of this with this particular online discussion, but with our online discussion 2, you will, and likely for your online discussion posts for other classes. Now, first, please make sure when you're assigned an online discussion, please ensure that you actually read the assignment's instructions, because every instructor has different length requirements. Also, they may require attachments, web links, okay? They may even require research, so read through thoroughly kind of the assignment itself. And if there's any readings or videos that are attached to the discussion, you better watch those. You better read them, okay? And also, you may want to read through everybody else's post to kind of get an idea and a feel of what the teacher's expectations are, but also you don't want to be redundant. You don't want to sound just like the person who submitted information 5 minutes ago. And also, it's going to help you understand the discussion as a whole once you see everybody else's insight. Now, just remember the most important thing from instructor to instructor, follow the guidelines set by that teacher. Every teacher is different. We have different objectives. Some of us are sticklers about grammar. Some of us are sticklers about content. Some of us are sticklers about MLA documentation. So you need to ensure you meet those kind of qualifications. Now, make sure if there's multiple questions in the online discussion that you answer each of those questions, and likely in the order in which it's asked. And make sure you're brief. Only about 1 to 2 paragraphs is usually a thorough online discussion, unless the instructor kind of asks and requests otherwise. And always before you post, make sure you follow the assignment's guidelines and proofread for those grammatical and spelling errors. And you can always pre-write. I always encourage my students, if you are old school and you need to write out your response first and then type it in, then do that. Do what works for you. I know there's others that can just sit down at the keyboard and type it out and be done with it, but not all of you may be that lucky. Remember, with the email etiquette, the same scenario works here with the online discussion etiquette. You don't need to use texting language. You don't need to use slang. You need to be grammatically correct. No contractions. No informal slang language. Also, you need to avoid like run-ons, comma splices, fragments, subject-verb agreement errors, no lower casing or all caps. All of the things we discussed with the emails are the same thing with the online discussions. And be careful with your tone. You may be given a topic you're uncomfortable with. I mean, just for example, in my English Composition 2 class, I gave the students a topic that discussed Japanese sex robots, which some students were a little freaked out by that topic. We were dealing with kind of controversial topics in technology, and some students, you could tell, were very uncomfortable with the topic. So it was kind of difficult for them, because they disagreed with that topic, to be very tolerant of others who agreed with it. So be careful in your tone. If you disagree with others who have posted, you want to be constructive, not destructive in your discussion of the topic. And also, if there's a particular point you disagree with and you feel there's some research that backs up your argument, then give that research and your argument, but do it cordially and don't be insulting or condescending to anyone on the discussion post. If you wouldn't say it to someone's face, you don't want to say it within an online discussion post. And always be open-minded. You're going to meet people in your classes that are from very different backgrounds, have very different belief systems, but in a way it's good. It's sort of a microcosm for our world that we have, and you need to learn the most important thing, tolerance. So use your online discussions essentially to learn those skills that are going to help you in the real world, okay, the professional world. Now, scrolling down, sometimes, as I mentioned, your instructors are going to require you to have research. And if you have research, make sure that you put quoted language that you maybe copy and paste from a website in quotation marks. If you paraphrase information, you need to ensure that after that language that you've kind of rephrased, that you still give credit. In MLA, it may be the author's last name you credit, it may be the title of the article, the website itself. It's really going to depend on the type of source that that particular instructor maybe desires you to use, or maybe even ask you to reference the textbook within your online discussion post. Now, you'll notice I give you a sample online discussion question. These are the type of online discussion questions you're probably going to find in your classes, whether it's a history class, a psychology class. And I have an example of an informal and effective online discussion posting versus one that's more thorough. Again, with our first online discussion post, you're not going to be doing something this in depth. Our first posting is a more get to know you, but for future postings, whether it's for this class or other classes online, you need to try to follow this particular guidelines. Just remember, it's an online academic assignment, so the same guidelines you follow with academic writings like essays or reports, you need to do that with your online discussions as well. Don't think that that kind of gives you some allowances of informality. Even with our online discussion post this week, I want you to be grammatically correct in your language. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully this has proven helpful with learning how to post an online discussion, and also for other classes and having formal online discussion posts. We'll look forward to reading and getting to know you with your online posts. Thank you.